Hi, I'm John Files in Austin, Texas from Sonata Marketing. Today I'm going to go over the One series amplifiers from GR Bass, made in Italy. Pure sound amplifiers. They make a number of amplifiers, cabinets and combo amplifiers. Fairly young company, very deep in the technology, great sounding. One of the best things about the GR products is they're very easy to understand, very easy to use. They sound great, they're lightweight, very affordable. They are sort of follow the traditional amplifier scheme. They don't have all the whistles and bells you see on a lot of amplifiers that you have to read a very deep manual. I've got a manual right here. It's about 4 pages for the product, so it's very easy. You can pull it out of the box, take it straight to the gig, recording session, club. You don't have to worry about learning a lot of stuff about this. It works just like you expect it to work. We're musicians, not engineers or technicians, so that's a great thing about it. There are 4 amplifiers currently in the GR One series range of amplifiers. There's the miniOne amplifier, which is a very small, lightweight 350 watt amplifier. There is the ONE350, which has the same power section, but it has the preamp section that can follow suit on the rest of the amplifiers. There is the ONE800, which is an 800 watt amplifier, and there's the ONE1400, which has a little bit different power section. It has 2 700 watt modules in the amplifier section, so you have 2 level controls for 2 outputs, so you can drive 2 types of speaker cabinets or 2 combinations of cabinets. So the miniOne has the stripped down preamplifier, the ONE350, the ONE800, the ONE1400 all have the full-blown preamplifier sections on them, and we'll go over those in just a moment. This is the ONE800 amplifier. You can see it's very small. It is 10.5 inches wide, 8.5 inches deep, 2 inches high, 5.2 pounds. This particular amplifier will produce 400 watts into 8 ohms and 800 watts into 4 ohms or 2.67 ohms, which would be an 8 ohm and a 4 ohm cabinet together. So this can drive a single 8 ohm cabinet, a single 4 ohm cabinet, 2 8 ohm cabinets, or an 8 and a 4 ohm cabinet. So fairly flexible. If you need more cabinet combinations than that, or you're going to run a pair of 4 ohms, then the ONE1400 is the way to go. That will drive multiple cabinets. You could drive 4 8 ohm cabinets. You could drive 2 4 ohm cabinets. You could drive 2 8s and 2 4s. So there's a lot of flexibility. The other thing about the GR amplifiers is they really pass through the sound of the bass. You can hear the sound of the wood, the pickups, the strings, the hands, the fingers. Very open, transparent, yet not sterile, not cold or harsh. I describe these amplifiers to people that ask me, they say, what do they sound like? I describe them as very musical, very organic, a warm sound, something you're familiar with, but with a little bit more openness and clarity than you're typically able to get with a lot of products on the market. Very well made cast chassis on some of these. As you can see here on the top, this is not just some little silk screened brand that's on the top. This is a laser cut top. The silver through here is actually a heat sink that's attached to the power module. Yes, this is a Class D amplifier. The big trick in Class D is not the power amp as far as tone, it's the preamp section. Really is going to make a lot of difference in these. But the Class D module used in this is a familiar one. It's very widely used throughout the industry, tried and true, proven, many hours, years on this module, so you can feel really safe and comfortable in that. So there are a lot of different features. What I'm going to first do is I'm going to go through the feature set on the ONE800 amplifier. I'll have some other snapshots of the other models in this video, but like I say, the main difference is the ONE800, the ONE350, and the ONE1400 have the same preamplifier section. The miniOne is a little stripped down in its feature set, whereas the power amp modules, the miniOne and the ONE350 share that amplifier. The ONE800 has its amp, and then the ONE1400 has the dual 700 watt amplifiers in it. So let's take a look at the feature set of the GR Bass ONE800 amplifier. All right, let's look at the front panel of the GR1 amplifier. I'm going to run through these controls from left to right, going across the front panel, and then we'll take a look at the back of the amplifier, and I'll explain a few other features. On the left front, of course, you see the input jack where you plug your bass in. The aux in will take any sort of auxiliary input, an iPhone, iPod, CD player. You can use this as a practice amp. It's got a headphone jack as well. The next thing that you see is the deep knob, deep button. And the deep button is plus 5 dB at 50 Hertz, so it allows you to fill in the low end quite a bit. Next you have the bass knob, and the bass knob is a shelving control, and it's plus and minus 13 dB at 50 Hertz as well, so you can kind of sweeten that up a little bit. The next thing that you're going to see is the low-mid switch. The low-mid switch selects any of 3 frequencies that the low-mid knob will control. That'll be the boost and cut, the knob, but the switch selects between 185 Hertz, 375 Hertz, and 800 Hertz. So you decide which frequency you would like, and you can kind of select that by, you can sweep the low-mid knob up and down and decide which frequency works best. The low-mid knob is plus or minus 12 dB, and it's a peaking control, and that'll boost and cut wherever you have that switch. The next switch that you see is the pure switch, and what the pure switch does is it bypasses all of the equalization filters of the preamp, and you'll see a little very bright light come on when you switch that in. It's really bright. You'll notice a difference when you switch that in and out, even if the tone controls are flat, because it bypasses the whole tone circuit. It's very open and very clear. You might like that sound, or you might like it disengaged even with not using the tone control, so that gives you another option. The next knob that you see is the high-mid knob. It is a plus and minus 12 dB peaking control, and its frequencies are selected to the switch to the lower right. That's the high-mid switch. Those frequencies are 600 Hertz, 1200 Hertz, and 1800 Hertz. The next thing that you see is the bright switch, or the bright button. The bright button is plus 6 dB at 9.6 kilohertz, so that adds a lot of sparkle and a lot of sheen to your circuit. To the right of that, you're going to see the DI knob, and I really love this feature, having the DI knob on the front, level on the front of the amplifier. That's really handy for recording. It's handy for getting balance. You're not fixed to just a fixed level output, so that gives it a lot of flexibility. The next knob they call the hear knob, which is a headphone level control, really, to control the level, which to the right you have your 3.5 millimeter plug. That's for headphones. So if you plug something into the aux in on the left and the headphones on the right, you now have a level control for that signal. Then you have the master knob, which controls the volume. It works this way on the ONE350 and the ONE800. If we were looking at the ONE1400, you would have 2 of these level controls, one for each speaker output for each of the 700 watt amplifiers. In this case, we just have a single channel module, so we have 1 level control. Then you have the operation LED control, which is to the top of that. And green is normal operation, and orange is the high level input signal. And that'll show you some clipping. When you push the little knob to the right, it has an X by the speaker. That mutes the output, and that engages the chromatic tuner. You've got 24 LEDs across the top. You can use in the VU meter or in the tuner. And when you look in the middle of the amplifier, you can see that some of the LEDs are marked B up to C, and that's the tuner section. The way the tuner works is that if it's blue, that means that it's in tune. If it's red, you'll have an LED on the right or the left telling you whether it's flat or sharp. And you have 4 display VU meter modes. You have the tuner mode. You can turn off the LEDs. So you have a lot of flexibility as far as the visualization of the amplifier and whether you're in tuner mode or in amplifier mode. All right, let's look at the back of the amplifier now. I'm going to go from right to left just to kind of walk through all the features. First thing you see on the right is you see the power socket, which is an IEC connector, and above that you have the on-off switch. This has got a worldwide voltage power supply in it. It operates from 100 to 240 volts AC, 50 and 60 cycles, so it's worldwide. You don't need to switch anything at all. You just plug it into the wall and you're good to go, as long as you have the proper plug on the other end to go into whatever country you're in. The other great thing about this power supply is the fact that it operates all the way down to 100 volts automatically. If you're in a situation where you have not really great power, brown power, which is not unusual for a club, rather than your amplifier shutting off, not sounding right, or doing weird things, this will just adjust itself and it'll play all the way down to 100 volts. So that's a great little feature. Another cool feature right to the left of that is the 9-volt DC output built into the amplifier. And what's awesome about that is that you can set something on top. You can run a wireless off of that 9-volt. You could put a single effect right on top with just a power cable. You don't have to have a wall wart. You don't have to have an additional plug. It'll drive up to 4 to 5 pedals depending upon the current draw of those pedals. And it is center negative polarity. To the left of that, you have the effect send and return. And having that with the 9-volt right beside it is awesome, because you could put, if you just wanted to have a little bit of compression, you have a little small pedal compressor. You can set that on top of the amplifier. You can do your insert with 2 little cables right into the back, plug your pedal in, and you're good to go. I mean, that's great for small gigs, portability. I really, really love it. The next section is the DI section. You can set the DI pre and post EQ. You have a ground lift, and then you have an XLR output. A really great sounding DI on this one too, good enough to record with easily. Plus, coupled with the fact that you have your DI level control on the front of the amplifier, you have extreme flexibility as far as direct output on a small amplifier. Then to the left of that, we have the speak-on outputs. These are also combi jacks, so in the middle of the jack it'll take a 1/4 inch. Of course, you want to make sure you use a speaker cable, so you can use either speak-ons or 1/4 inches. These two are parallel like they are on all traditional amplifiers. The only difference being, if this were the back of the ONE1400, you would have one jack for one level control, the other jack for the other level control. Would be corresponding to the one in the front, so you'd have 2 700-watt amplifiers in that case. But on the ONE350 and the ONE800, this is the same type of architecture. Here we have the GR base ONE1400 amplifier. You can see it looks very similar to the ONE800 and the ONE350. It's a little bit wider. This particular amplifier is about 12.5 inches wide. It has the same 8.5 inch depth, same 2-inch height, weighs a pound more, 6.2 pounds. Has the 2 700-watt power amplifiers in it, and you can see from the front control that it has channel 1 and channel 2 level controls that correspond to the 2 power amplifiers. When you look at the back, you see the 2 speak-on outputs, and each of the speak-on outputs correspond to the level controls on the front. This gives it a lot of flexibility where you can run multiple cabinets, different efficiency cabinets, a wedge and a cabinet behind you, lots of different functions. You could use one for one of the vibration floor mounts and drive it with the level control, so it's very, very flexible. A lot of power on that one. This is the GR base ONE350 amplifier. It looks identical to the ONE800 amplifier. It has the same feature set, same functionality. It just has a 350 watt power module. That's 350 watts at 4 ohms and 2.67 ohms, and 175 watts at 8 ohms. So it's a little bit lighter, same size chassis, same functionality. So that's the GR ONE350. This is the GR miniOne amplifier. This is the smallest in the product range. This weighs 2.8 pounds. Very small, very light amplifier. This particular amplifier is 6.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches deep, and has the same 2-inch height on it. This has a 350 watt amplifier, again a very tried and true amplifier module that's been on the market a long time. It has a stripped down preamplifier, and you can see from the front it's a lot simpler. You have a 1/4 inch input on the left. You have the aux in for iPhone, iPod, whatever you want to use there. You have gain control for the input. You have a pre and post switch on the front for the DI. You have a low control with a deep switch, mid control with a shift between 400 and 800 hertz for the mid switch. You have a high control and a bright knob for it. You have your mute control and a master level control and a headphone jack. When you look at the back of the amplifier, you again have your European voltage, 100 to 240 volts AC, 50-60 cycles. Worldwide, you have your fan, XLR output, and a single speak-on combi jack output on this amplifier. Small, lightweight, but it's really loud and it sounds great. That's the miniOne amplifier. So that's the GR Bass One range of amplifiers. Again, easy to use, intuitive, great sounding, lightweight, very affordable, powerful amplifiers, very well thought out engineering, made in Italy. I recommend them highly. I've been selling music products since 1975. I owned a bass store in Austin, Texas for 12 years. I've played about everything on the market. I've worked with other manufacturers. The GR products are they're tremendous. I mean, I play them. I recommend them to a lot of people. Look at this little miniOne that we went through a little bit earlier. Incredible. That'll slide right down into a gig bag of your upright bass. So I encourage you to check them out. We are opening up dealers as quickly as we can. If you have any questions, you can contact me. I'll have the information at the end of the video, how you can email me or call me. I'm happy to talk with you about any of your needs and help you get one of these in your hands. So check out the full range. We're going to have other videos on other cabinets. I've got some people that are going to be playing through some of the GR equipment. We'll have those coming up shortly. All sorts of different styles, finger style, flat wound, pick, funk, lots of different things so you can hear what these sound like. The speaker cabinet range is extensive. A lot of unique cabinets like a 2.8 cabinet, vertical, which really sounds terrific. Great combo amplifiers, new products coming out all the time. It's a really wonderful company. So if you need anything at all, please contact me, and I'm happy to help in any way I can. Thanks, and have a great day.